Hello, everybody, and welcome back to hour 3 of this session. So, where we last left off, two of you guys are hiding inside the carport with an amazing distraction of a Krogan having a bromance conversation with, just by sheer coincidence, 4 male human alliance soldiers. As a matter of fact, their conversation's so much fun, eventually the door to the Mako opens up, and you see a couple of scientists come out, and they start like eggheading all over you about the details of this creature. It takes them a bit to like kind of like open up and have their conversation. You rolled a crit though. It takes them kind of a bit to open up and have their conversation about these creatures, but eventually, they are actually going to give you fun tidbits of information about those bird creatures. Details that don't matter now. Let's worry about the actions on hands. Let's go over to Winnie for a second. Winnie, you focus on this thing. You focus on it. Okay, you see the Krogan in the corner of the scope, but you're like, I can see it, but I'm not gonna. I'm focused on. Let me just adjust this here. Hold on. Okay, focused on it. And now he's like, are they laughing? Do Krogan laugh? Okay, no.
Is that a handshake?
Okay, and and then like the door opens up. And like they're all out of the vehicle and chatting with him. How does Winnie react to this? Does she still just hold her scope, or?
She's probably happy that he made friends.
You're muted again, I think, if you responded.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Good.
Well, stupid Skype. No, so I probably like pivot over and like just see what's going on over there. Like, oh, this is a good turn of events.
Okay, cool. So you can kind of move the scope over the gun over like a millimeter or two to get a full sight of them, and you're able to actually watch it. Are you the kind of person that just for funsies puts the bead on the back of Krax's head? It's like,
No, that's mean.
She's
kidding.
a responsible sniper.
Yeah.
So
That's not proper gun safety.
all right. So roll me a snipe check. Roll 2 ones. So you guys are having your little bit there. Let's go over to you two. You two are now inside the carport area. There's only one person anywhere near you, and he's watching what's going on over there. Amused by them, but also annoyed by the fact that his person he was playing cards with is not there. As a matter of fact, you see that as you guys are about to do the actions you're doing, at one point in time, he actually picks up the other guy's hand and looks at it for a moment.
Is he going to be an asshole?
He takes a card out and puts it in the bottom of the deck and grabs another card and puts it into his hands, and then puts his hand back down, and he kind of gets more coin out of his pocket, like more credits out of his pocket, like he's getting ready to gamble a little bit more.
Does Krax see this?
No, absolutely not. You are over 100 meters away.
I was really
Is
hoping
that
you
the
could see
same
the card.
asshole that kept interrupting my little footage hacking earlier?
Yes.
I murder him, no, just kidding.
So anyways, he was doing what I'm doing right now. He was kind of swaying back and forth because it's obnoxious when people can't stay still. You know what I'm saying? That's me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you
You obnoxious?
No,
Never.
come on.
You're just regular noxious.
There are words written on the 4 doors that are inside of here. One of the doors actually.
Words.
So one of the doors is down below. So the way that the inner hub area is set. So once you kind of get into the hangar bit, it's a U-shaped area, or a squared off U-shaped area, right? Obviously the open part which goes out into the greater outside, and the inner part being the hub. So immediately when you walk in, there are stairs that go up about half a floor up. And the reason why they do that is because the Makos pull into almost looks like docks, like you would with a ship or a boat, right? And the upper part is for people to easily climb out, climb in, put equipment in and out, with a part of these type of Makos that can open up from the roof. Like literally a portion of the roof opens up for the transportation of goods. Then the lower part is where people can work on the tires, get in from the bottom area, just walk on ground level, so on and so forth. So on that ground level area, there is one door that has words written on it. And then up on the higher level, there is one door that goes to the left, one door that goes to the right, and one door that goes straight. Okay? Left and right ones are symmetrical, straight one is off-centered. But they're all there, made out of the typical steel that you would see in the Mass Effect world. Duranium and whatnot tied into it. Which, none of you guys, can any of you read Alliance?
We still haven't gone over how languages work in
Yeah,
this.
I suppose I suppose
So
you
we have
can.
no idea.
No, because your Omni tool handles basic translation, so it's one of those you kind of hold up to the door, it does a and translates for you. And this is written in English. So how convenient. You go over, and the first one that you see on the bottom door says maintenance. And then going up for the top one, you can see that one of the doors leads to offices. One of the doors leads to recovery. And one of the doors leads to power/engineering. So it's engineering, but it's where the power of the facility would be.
Well, we either want to be in maintenance, power, or recovery. Recovery could be where they're storing things they get from their research.
That does sound the most likely.
And if I think you described it as the one that's farthest away, too.
It's to the left. The farthest away was actually the offices, but yeah, you're good.
If you agree, then I agree, and I just start heading out this way. And there's no one else in the hangar, right? Because it's night.
Just that one guy that's at the very.
Just that one guy. So.
Still tempted to murder him.
Long way. Don't worry about it too much. Head to recovery. Still have my baton out just in case.
Okay. It's not very difficult for you to get to it because you happen to be on that side anyways or whatever. So you go over to the door, and the door, it has card passes to be able to get into it. Unfortunately, you guys didn't kill any humans, so you don't have any of their passes to get through.
I step back so the
Give me a second.
Yeah. I see it, and then just look at Cattle. Just don't say anything.
We could go for the one that's alone with the cards, who's trying to cheat on his friend.
Try and hack it first.
Fine. I'll try and hack it.
Double sixes. Oh! The first one was a 6, and my heart skipped a beat. I was like... But no. Okay,
Don't expect me to get the double sixes.
You've got a double 6 today.
Yeah, that was my one good roll for the next 3 sessions.
So you you go over to the thing and you spend a solid minute because you're trying not to trigger alarms or anything like that. You're not trying to be quick. You're trying to be smooth. And Krax is clearly engaged in conversation down there. And you've got at least 15 minutes before the sun really starts to light up the outside, right? So you go over to the sorry, let me make sure I did. No, you've more than that. You've got at least half an hour.
45 minutes?
Yeah, well, because time passed while you guys were doing the da-da-da-da-da. So you got at least half an hour. So you hack into the thing, and the door, green light. Ding. Now, you did open it, just so you know, because of the way that the hacking works. For this one specific door, you have the code, so you can open and close it. But you don't have all the doors. You know what I mean?
That's the advantage of a key card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the door opens up, and you guys make your way, and I imagine Entourage goes in first to examine the place. She goes in and walks in, and immediately what you see is an area where stuff kind of gets dumped, not like dumped in a big trash pile, but stuff gets dumped off. Anything that they've recovered is set in neatly organized but stored areas, and then the room that you're in actually stretches back a good bit, and there's tons of steel crates that are probably filled with tons of things, filled with artifacts that they've discovered, because they all have tags on them, all have labels on them, and they're set in shelves that stack up to about 10-12 feet tall, and go all the way back a good distance. And there's tons of crates of varying sizes and whatnot. But also, one of the things that immediately catch your eye when you come into this place is there is a huge computer set here. One that has a bunch of different hollow screens on and whatnot. Clearly has large computer itself, which for a computer to be that large, you know it's powerful. And there are a few different pads on it that are clearly used for scans. Similar to like a bioscanner or whatever that you would have. They're clearly used for scans and whatnot. As soon as the door opens up and you step inside Entourage, though, you do see that there is one guy who's literally standing there, one hand working the computer, sipping a cup of something. He's like, oh shit! It sees Entourage, the door opens up and he kind of lazily looks over and sees Entourage there and reacts there's a what are you called? A sorry standing there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Cattle would hear that. I just start walking up. It's like, hello. I wasn't expecting to see you here. You're working late.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fixing what Frank had said to me.
I'm just being very casual. I'm just walking up to the guy speaking very casually.
No, I heard what you said. I was just trying to make sure I displayed for views.
And she melds with him.
There we go. But Frank is trying to be funny with
help right now. It wouldn't actually. It'd be terrible.
Rolls. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, you very casually say, "Oh, hello there." And what was the next line?
Oh, hello there. I didn't expect to see you there. You're up working late.
He's like, yeah, early actually, and his hand is like slowly reaching over towards something. You don't have to make an insight roll.
Yeah. That makes sense. We were given a strange shift when we were told to come here and help you with understanding the Prothean technology.
Oh.
Well, you know, Asari, we basically are Protheans, right?
Do you have identification? And he's like trying to like casually lean, like he's
like at this point.
Out of reach.
Andre has walked all the way up and actually just like takes his hand, like the hand that's stretched out, and actually like takes it and like does the fingers like that.
So if you're going to go take
and at this point, it's very obvious to Cattle that she's just being a massive distraction.
So what you're gonna have to do is roll for me to make that feel okay and not just like, okay, click the button. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So roll me your, I suppose that would be a talk charisma check.
I was gonna say
try to get the brown chicken brown cow on.
How about a +2, 1 for each?
Wow.
Terrible.
Wow.
Bad.
Is that these two, Rick?
Distract him.
All right.
It's a later strategy.
So, oh, look at this missing rookie Wookie. Yeah, me too. All right. So you guys, so you kind of walk up to him and you're like, no, and you say your words, and they actually sound like they make sense because clearly everybody got a report that you guys were allowed to stay here, and clearly he heard the news that there was people picked up outside or whatever. And so you're kind of like walk up to him, you're saying these things, you're like, no, it's fine. You grab him, you're like holding his hands, and now it's just like that uncomfortable, like I'm being very flirty with you, but that's okay because I'm supposed to be here anyways, sort of thing. And he's like, you can tell he's not completely sold on it of either you're bad or you're good. He's just kind of like still analyzing the situation.
He's like, who is this
It's
person?
good to be bad.
He's confused.
Yeah. I don't know which way I go. So he, so Cattle, do you do anything like as she's in there holding his hand? You can kind of like do one of those like creep and like sneak around.
I did say we, so you do have a chance to get in casually.
You can see what's going on inside there.
Is he looking at me right now? Or I imagine he's very distracted with the Asari in his face. Are they roughly looking at me, or are they like turned in a way or anything like that?
When you walk in the door,
your way,
he will be
So
like
he'd see you
you're coming in from the side that he's facing.
Yeah, I figured as much. Well, here goes nothing. I'm just gonna walk in.
Okay, so you walk in, and he kind of like looks over at the Solarian, and he's like, "So, is this the scientist that's with you?"
That's
Racists.
correct. I've been doing field studies here lately.
I know more about culture. He knows more about how things work.
Okay. What are you supposed to be here looking at?
I'm gonna run through some data here, just revisions, that sort of thing. Make sure everything's properly processed.
We have some data from our research that should compile very well with yours.
That sounds wonderful. I would love an opportunity to make sense of everything that I've been scanning in, because right now it's just noise. But I do need to see proof that you can use the computer. And one of the things that you guys notice is that the computer, because he's been not actively doing anything for a little bit of time now, the computer actually switched to one of those like almost like a half power save mode where you can see like all of a sudden the lights got a bit dimmer, and you know that if there's no interaction with it, it's going to end up doing like its lockout soon. And just both of you, as you notice this, roll me a lore intelligence check, please. Oh!
I have forgotten how to computer.
Oh!
I'm gonna re-roll that.
You're the one who's gonna.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
It would have been nice if it was double sixes. Okay. Oh, that was so bad. So you re-roll that, and actually,
wow.
you both failed, and now you succeed. And in your success, what you know is that when this computer locks out, the only people that can this computer, if it's not like fully up and running, the only people that can interface with it is people that has the cards or the passcodes and everything. Like, it's going to be very locked out. As long as it's open, though, it's going to be easy to interface with. You know what I mean? You're going to have to require, like, a little bit of his DNA to be able to interface with it, even while it's open, but it's easy. Anybody can press buttons, right? So, it's just security features, right? So, you do not want it to get quiet. You don't want it to power down. It would make things drastically more difficult. So, like I said, what do you do?
There should be records of our... Is this computer connected to your main network, or is it entirely separate? Because there should be records of us entering here. We don't have the same sort of identification as you do. So we're sent by the Citadel.
He's, like, listening, and he's like, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, no, this would have records of what we need. Did you roll me a talk already?
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. He's like, yeah, no, this does have records of what we need. Okay, yeah. And he kind of goes over and he's like, and he starts interfacing with it, and it actually works different than any of the other human computers you've dealt with so far. You imagine but, you know, Rick, you're watching closely to see how he's handling the different parts, and it kind of like grabs the interface and throws into like effectively a virtual side bin everything that he was working on beforehand, and pulls up a different virtual computing process. So if you're familiar with Macs, it's like throwing your screen to the side. And so he like throws everything into a side bin and pulls up like an entirely different interface. This one you are more familiar with, being like the Standard Alliance style. And he's kind of like searching through and trying to check for everything. He's like, okay, yep, no, I see your arrival here. And, yep, okay, here we go. And he actually says all of your names, including like improperly pronouncing each and every one of them. But he does.
I just nod. I have like my hand is now like on his back. I'm like basically pressed up like, behind him, leaning over him. Being very lovey-dovey, I guess.
So he does kind of, he says all of your names. He's like, yeah, and you kind of like lean into him, and he's like, and it's one of those like uncomfortable, like he's not sure if this is okay. And so he's kind of like,
true.
Oh, well, I see that you landed. I'm just gonna check for your identification.
While he's doing that, I would like to quickly hack and like try to spoof it so that we would have the correct authorization.
Okay, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to do like one of those live updates, like you see like an Mission Impossible or whatever.
Well, while he's doing that, I'll just be sort of like making up some bullshit stories. Like, well, it might not be on the full system. It might only be on the messages might only have been sent to your commander. But I hope it's all correct.
Okay, so you roll me your bullshit while he's rolling his decryption.
Oh, okay, fine.
I have rolled my decryption.
Let's see if I can roll bullshit. That 6 is still okay.
So he's like,
it looks worse than it is.
Yep. So you roll your bullshit or whatever, and he just doesn't seem to be buying it. Meanwhile, Cattle's off to the side, kind of like pressing buttons or whatever, trying to like get into the system. And all of a sudden, you can see like the outline of the system like starts to like blink red, and you can see like up in the little corner lines of code kind of like dropping down, which is literally like the computer itself is doing electronic warfare measures are immediately like kicking on, and it becomes visually apparent to he who's on it. So he's kind of like, yeah, and then he sees the blinking red and like looks at it, but he's like trying to listen to your story, but then he like listens to your story and he's like not that interested, and so he like looks back up, he sees that, and that's when he's like, oh, and he like tries to pull away to go press that button. Before you do anything, Roll me initiative. Give me one
I'll do
second
that.
to give me 1 second to clean that off.
Yeah.
Remove. You two roll me initiative. Cattle, thank you. Thank you. And I'll roll my 1d8 plus 1. Sorry, not plus 1.
The funny thing I just realized is I never unequipped a Storm Baton, so I was very romantic, and I just had it behind in my back the whole time.
I rolled extremely well. So,
Oh shit!